So this time has been very difficult for me and my family. Of course, it's something that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people deal with every year. And that's because this world is broken. It's messed up. It's not how it was originally made to be. It has been cursed. And, through this time, as I have been reading through the Word and thinking, my theology hasn't changed. Thankfully, by God's grace, He prepared me beforehand with a theology of suffering to understand His sovereignty and His control in the midst of cancer, in the midst of the death of a child, or malaria, or a car wreck. All these things that happen to us as human beings in this world that God created. He thankfully opened my eyes and my ears through reading His Word by the power of His Spirit, and I knew that He was in control of all things, that it was good for me. And so I just want to talk about a few verses that have been pivotal, verses that I knew, and some verses that, even though I knew, I didn't really think about until recently. And one of those verses is from Romans chapter 8, where it says, "All things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose." And that verse, we in the Reformed group, we love that verse, and we should, because it is a beautiful promise that all things work together for good. And, upon reflecting upon that verse, we can use that verse. It says all things, so that means our times of prosperity, our times when things are going well, when our bellies are full, when our hearts are happy, when our children aren't sick, when the checkbook is full. Those are things to thank God for. And they're good times, and they're blessed times, and they work for our good if we see them as gifts from God and as bringing glory to Him, and if we use them as a lens through seeing Him and seeing His blessings and His gifts. But I think that part would become really, really ugly and not work for our good if we didn't have faith, because faith in Christ and in a sovereign Christ includes the other half of those all things. It includes when your child dies, when your checkbook is empty, when you have cancer, when things aren't going right, when your pastor is unfaithful, all those things, the times when our hearts are broken or when we are in fear, that's when it's harder to think, this is for my good. And it can get, even if we believe those truths beforehand, it can get difficult to wonder, like, how in the world could this be for my good? But that's the point when you have to trust God. And that's not a cliche thing. It is, faith is not seeing. And it's also not knowing everything. And there is mystery. There's some things we can know. Sometimes we can see some purposes in suffering and in evil. Sometimes God punishes us as his children. He disciplines us because he loves us, just like a good father. And so suffering can be from a lot of things, but no matter what the reason is behind the suffering, there's good reasons. There's I heard it from John Piper, but I don't know who said it first. But behind an ugly providence is a smiling face, or a bitter providence is a smiling face, and that's because God, when he allows and causes these hard things in our life, it's because he loves us, and he's going to work it for our good and for his glory. And trusting that can be a very difficult thing, but knowing that his word is true, and knowing that we deserve death and hell, and that anything better than that is something that is gracious and merciful, and something we didn't deserve. And so just cherishing that truth, I think, is something important for all of us, that everything does work together for our good, and there's a lesson in every part of our life. No matter if we're going through a good time or a hard time, Christ is there teaching us. We're always in his school, and I knew that, but during this time I have been more aware of it and more careful to pay attention to the little details of all the providences that he brings into my life. And there's some other precious verses that I have stumbled across in the last few months that have also been a balm to me. So one of those is 1 Peter chapter 1. Okay, and I'm going to start in verse 3. Blessed be God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to his great mercy. He has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you, who by God's power are being guarded through faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you rejoice. So we rejoice for the unfaded, unperishable, undefiled inheritance in heaven. We rejoice in that. Okay, so here it is in verse 6. In this you rejoice, though now, right here, for a little while, so in this life, which he calls a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor in the revelation of Jesus Christ. So I didn't really notice that verse. I mean, I've known this verse, but that word never stuck out to me like it has before, where it says, if necessary. So we rejoice in our undefiled, unfading inheritance that's coming. But in order to get there, to get to that inheritance, if necessary, God, with his sovereign hand, grieves you with various trials. And I just thought, wow, that means there's purpose in all the trials that he sends on us. In all the things that are hard, that hurt, and all the pain and all the suffering. It says, if necessary. In other words, the way he's going to get me to glory is if I need it, he's going to give me trials because he loves me. and because he wants to give me that inheritance. And he's going to keep me persevering. And so that means my cancer is necessary. And that conclusion was, even with my understanding of the sovereignty of God, it was another level. You just don't hear people talk like that very often. Like, your cancer was necessary? No way. But that's the implication of that verse. You know, this is a trial. I don't know if you would define cancer as a trial, but I would. I would define cancer, sickness, you know, the death of a child, the death of a friend, the death of a family member, all those things, you know, sicknesses, famine, war, tornadoes, fire, all these things can be trials. There's the difficulties of life. And God, it says there in 1 Peter, if necessary, if you need it, he'll give it to you. And so I want you to be encouraged to suffer well with hope that he's bringing you to that inheritance. And that doesn't mean it's not going to be fearful or hard or even terrible. But when you have hope that it's for a purpose, it's for your glorification, to bring you home to him, it makes the burden a lot lighter. And so I hope that that is encouragement to you.